So we have some bad news in the weather forecast, which is that we may be getting a very, very late frost, as late as May 9th. And then after that, it's not going to be in the 50s at night until around May 14th. So this is very unusual, very cold weather, very late into the spring. I have been gardening for about 8 years now, and I have not seen a frost this late in the season during that time. I do remember hearing before then about late frosts that had devastated the blueberry industry in East Tennessee. So frosts that happen this late in May can be very devastating to gardens and commercial crops. So it's really important that if you haven't planted your plants yet, especially your summer crops, tomatoes, peppers, that kind of thing, squash, any kind of summer crop, that you keep them inside at night. Bring them out during the day when it's warmer. But if you haven't planted them yet, hold off for another week until we get some better weather. Cold winter stuff, your peas, any of your brassicas, kale, cabbage, that kind of stuff, that stuff will be fine late or at night. So if you want to get those out, they will probably enjoy the cold weather. However, if you have already planted your summer crops, because we did get some really nice 80-degree weather this week, then what you can do is to put on some frost cloth, some row cover, to cover your plants. So the brand names for this, common brand names, are Agribon. Remay is another popular one. But any kind of blanket or like a bed sheet, if you don't have anything, will do. So you can see these, I have some thin wire hoops on these, and then the cloth is going over them, and I've anchored it down with some extra T-posts. Unfortunately, I've already put in the trellising for the tomatoes under this first row, so you can see they're in the way, and there were some gaps as I put the cloth around the T-posts. These things are kind of a pain to get out of the ground, so I'm not going to try to get them out. But I put some straw over the gaps where the T-posts are. Hopefully that'll be enough to keep the frosted air out. This cloth is usually good for about 4 degrees of freezing. It's only supposed to get down to 31. So this should be enough to protect the plants. They aren't going to be happy by this cold weather, but they should stay alive. Otherwise, without the cloth, without any kind of protection, then you run the risk of losing all your plants. If you don't have any cloth, you can look up ideas. It's called a cloche, C-L-O-C-H-E, and it basically is just some kind of like container. Even a cut milk jug can be placed over the plants to protect them. And you can find lots of ideas if you'll do an internet search for cloches. You can find ideas for all kinds of materials to make a quick cloche out of. So again, it is going to get really cold, and you need to figure out how to protect your plants if they're out in the garden already. So good luck, and hopefully everything will make it out of this freeze alive.